Welcome to A Couple of Bunkies. We've been making some videos with our Monport laser. If you're in the market for a laser engraver, consider using our promo code Timothy10 at checkout. Link in the description below. It'll give you an extra 10% at checkout. We may have missed a couple of videos the last couple months, and that's because we burnt the wheels on our gantry. I was trying to save money, and I used some subpar material that in some spots it would cut just as normal, but in others the flame would shoot out to about 2 or 3 inches. These burnt wheels on our gantry was causing some problems in how the laser would cut. A good example of this is the baby shower video. The writing ended up being very legible in some areas and not that legible in others, due to the wheel dragging and causing some issues with the alignment. I ended up having a fairly hard time finding these wheels. Most of them you ended up getting way more than what you actually needed, but I found this one distributor on eBay. It was around a month before we ended up seeing these. And since I have a YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. And we have a laser engraver that needs some repairs. I'm going to make a video and show you how to replace these wheels on this gantry. Normally you wouldn't have to take off the top nut if you get the right size housing, but my front wheel was melted so bad that I really had to take it off piece by piece. I used an Allen key for the first part, but everything can be done with this precision screwdriver set. The Allen key required for the top is a 2. And now I can go ahead and take off all of those wheels. You could technically just replace the bearing in the wheel. The metal hub is probably perfectly okay to reuse. Once the top screw is removed, the wheels come off fairly easily. Next you'll have to access this hex post at the base of the wheel. The hex head you need is 1.5. All you need to do is just loosen it a little bit and the post will come right out. And repeat the same process for all 3 of the other posts. The new posts are slightly offset at the top, so that when you rotate them in towards the gantry, the wheel snugs up against the rail. It was easier for me to install them all without tightening, and then at the end tighten them towards the rail, and then tighten the set screw. I want to go ahead and design a test cut so I can see whether the laser needed to be adjusted or not. If you'd like to see how to align a misaligned laser, go ahead and click in the upper right hand corner. There's a video for you. My idea for the test cut was to have certain amount of squares and certain sizes, so I can see whether there's drift in the up, down, left, right, or if I'm getting a double image. I want the last square to be able to be cut out completely, and I want 2 of these cuts on a large 11 by 8 sheet. One on the upper right hand side and one on the lower left. The idea is I can remove both squares and switch them out to see if they're the correct dimensions. Now I use the raster engrave setting. The raster engrave only does the grayscale and the black. Now I use the vector engrave setting. This setting follows the blue line's path on the test sheet. I use the vector cut setting. The vector cut setting follows the path of the red lines I had made earlier, only at a slower speed and a higher intensity. so it will cut through the material that I'm using. Now we can look at the results of all the squares that I had made. The results ended up being very consistent. I was able to exchange either one of the squares and put them in the other squares section. The only area that I had a little bit of a hard time was when rotating it 90 degrees and then trying to fit the same square back in the same hole. They ended up being a little tight. The center square was not supposed to be cut out, but it ended up getting cut out with the vector cut setting. Probably because the raster engrave setting made the material much thinner in that area, and the vector engrave setting ended up cutting it out. And again, thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped.